deposits to ensure that they actually. Job chapter 27, verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. His children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Beautiful. Just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, the belongeth to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, of GMS that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom, and shalom unto the hopeful elect. And I just want to go into the wicked man and the heritage of oppressors when you read Job 27 and 13. Earlier today, and I brought this out when the brothers were going into Esau Edom, talking about how Esau Edom is not a good ruler. You know, he's a tyrant, he's an oppressor, and he really doesn't have anyone's best interest. And pretty much he's going to get judged when the Lord comes back. That's what we were going into earlier, well, yesterday at the camp. So I just thought about doing a lesson going into the heritage of oppressors. You know, when you look up that word heritage, it really just goes back to the line of your fathers. And when looking at Esau Edom, you know, he comes from a line of oppressors, and it's passed down from father to son. And you know, when you look at the examples in the ancient world of Esau Edom, you saw that with the Caesars, you saw that with the Greeks, you saw that with Alexander, you saw that with his generals, you saw that with Herod the Great, and other figures that came after that. And even right now in this current time that we're living in, you see that today with the elites, the international banking families. You see that they come from a line of oppressors, man. Myram Schobauer, he had 5 sons. And out of those 5 sons came who? Jacob Rothschild and the Rothschilds that you see today. They're all oppressors, man. Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. They're all a bunch of devils, a bunch of oppressors, man. And that's why I brought this scripture out, because it's used to describe Esau Edom and how wicked he really is. Now, how do you know that this is talking about the wicked? You have to go to Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. I'm going to pull that up because the scripture refers to them as the border of wickedness. So this is Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Yeah, right? So this is talking about them. And it's true, they do build up the desolate places. Because today I'm going to go into the Herod dynasty. Herod and his sons. The Herod the Great and his sons that came after him. Man, Herod the Great, he did build up a lot of things while he was ruling. I believe his most notable achievement was the rebuilding of the city of Samaria. When you go into the history, that's in secular history. You have to read that up. You have to read that yourself and find it. And also, he constructed the Caesarea and the Mediterranean port. And he also built up military fortresses and government buildings and a temple in Jerusalem for you Israelites. So he was a builder, man. He did it. And that's in Esau Edom's nature. They'll build at the desolate places. That's why you see Esau always building roads and building condos and things like that. And man, look at Donald Trump. He's a construction tycoon, man. He's known for building up skyscrapers and stuff like that. Construction. But he's a devil, man. So So the scriptures doesn't, it doesn't lie. So it says the border of wickedness, and that's not talking about the land itself being wicked, because this earth is a paradise, man. But it's beautiful. It's not wicked. It was created in the Lord's image. Right? If you understand creation, right? When you go back to Genesis, the first chapter, right? It was created to be beautiful. It wasn't created to be wicked. It was created for righteousness. So it's not talking about the land. The land only gets wicked when there's wicked people or wicked spirits on that land. And that's what it's referring to. And that's why they're called the border of wickedness. Because they are a wicked nation. They are a wicked people. And therefore, as a result, that's why the land is wicked. That's why the land is cursed. Because of those people. So wherever this devil goes or wherever he lives, wickedness will always follow. That's why this place has alphabet bars. That's why it has alphabet parades. That's why it has something called feminist rights. That's why you can commit adultery, and break all the laws. That's why this place is wicked as hell, because you got wicked people over it. So therefore, the land is wicked. Now it says the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Yeah, indignation, righteous anger. The Lord has righteous anger towards you Edomites, you so-called white people. By the way, the word Edom means red. Esau, which is Ishashua, means wasted away, is he. And that's you Edomites, man. The blood shows forth through your skin, and that's why you're red. You're not white, you're red. Whenever you get drunk, whenever you get frostbite, whenever you blush, you turn red. So you are the red people. And the Lord don't like you. So the scripture says, Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. The Lord don't like you. Right? The Lord don't like you. So that's how you know who the wicked is. Let's go back to Job chapter 27, verse 13. The heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. And beautiful. And I mentioned Herod, and all the achievements and accomplishments that he has, or that he made, through his time of rulership. He actually, you know what? I want to get. Let me see if I can get John 2:20, and just to show you, he built up Jerusalem. He was responsible for a lot of things that were built up. This is Job. No, I mean not Job. John. Salakia. John chapter 2. Excuse me. Verse 20 says, Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. So, yeah, that's how long it took to build the temple. Right, and that was during Herod's time. Right, and that's what it's referring to. I just used this precept just to prove that, it was actually built up. But you would have to go into history to look at that for yourself. Right, you would have to find that out for yourself. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time. But yes, let me also get see if I can find Mark. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Mark chapter 13, verse 1. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples saith unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here? And Yahushua answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? You notice he said great buildings. Great infrastructure, great architecture. And Herod the Great was responsible for that when he took over. He built things up. Right? Government buildings, a temple, military forces. He even also built himself a palace. A beautiful palace too. But anyways, it says, There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. That's right. Talking about what's going to happen to the future, the fall of Jerusalem. It's going to fall. right, through the Roman persecution, and also of the things to come in the far future, the times that we're living in now, right? This place is going to be destroyed, utterly wasted, man. So yeah, man, it was beautiful, man. It was built up back then. It was built up. All right. So now I also just want to talk about Herod. You know, when Herod came into power, the way he came into power, it wasn't really legitimate, right? It wasn't really legitimate. He actually killed his way to the top. You know, he killed his way to the top. You know, treachery and murder. He removed all possible rivals, man. And that's why he was able to take the reins the way he did. That's why he was able to take firm control over Palestine. And that's why he was able to rule it for 33 years. Right? I believe, when did Herod come into power? He came into power 37 BCE to 4 BCE. That's when he came in. Herod the Great. The first Herod. And then his sons came about afterwards. Right? So yeah, man, he killed his way to the top. And also, you know, he had what you call mixed ancestry, or mixed so-called Jewish ancestry, or Israelite ancestry. That's what I want, not Jewish, Israelite ancestry. Right? He actually converted to the Israelite religion. So he practiced being an Israelite, right? But that's how he was able to, you know, you know, that's how he attempted to win Jewish support or Israelite support when he came in. But we all know that the Jews, the Israelites, hated them, right? And it was obviously because he converted. You know, that was one of the main reasons. But another reason why they hated him is because he was ruthless. You know, he was a tyrant. He was a murderer. And you know, he anybody that he thought that was a threat to his position, he got rid of. And also, he massacred the Bethlehem babies. Matter of fact, let me get Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. Matthew chapter 2, verse 16, going into actually, you know what? First, I want to get, I'm going to start from the first verse and read to the 5th verse. That's better. So this is Matthew chapter 2, verse 5. Now, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king. This is the first Herod. Okay, this is not talking about Herod Antipas. This is not talking about Herod Agrippa, Herod Philip, or Herod Archelaus. Those are his sons. This is talking about the Herod the Great, the first one. The one that came out of Antipater the Idumean. Okay, this is Antipater the Idumean's son. So it says here, the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born king of the Jews? This is talking about Yahushua. For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and the scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Yahushua should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. And that's true. Pursuant to many precepts, the precept that I have in mind right now is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. And this is talking about Yahushua. Isaiah 9 and 6. Pull that up real quick. Isaiah chapter 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice. From henceforth, even forever, the zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. That's right. And that's talking about Yahushua, right? and also the throne of David being established too, which is a rank and file. All right, so yeah, Yahushua is the Savior. You know, he was that child that was born unto us. He was set up to carry the nation of Israel on his shoulders. You know, he's our king, he's our leader, he's our Savior. All right, so that's what I think of. Let me go back. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 2. All right, so yeah, I'll read verse 5 again. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judah, for thus it is written by the prophet. Yeah, and I'm going to jump down to the murdering of the babies. You know, they didn't like him for this, right? He murdered all these Israelite baby boys to try and get rid of Yahushua. That was all just to upset the prophecy of Yahushua saving the nation of Israel. So this guy's an oppressor, man. He killed a lot of little babies, man. What did them babies do to you? Even though we know it's judgment, but what did them babies do, man? You know, this guy's ruthless, man. Cold-hearted. Kill little baby boys, man. Yo. And that's this devil, man. That's why you have guys like Klaus Schwab today. They're in that same spirit too. You know, Klaus Schwab, Margaret Sanger, all these devils, man. Murdering you Israelites. You will own nothing and be happy. You know, they're in that same spirit, man. And by the way, Klaus Schwab, he's related to a Nazi officer, a high-ranking Nazi officer, World War II Nazi officer, man. I forgot the guy's name, but he was high-ranking. So there you go. It shows that, you know, they come from a line of oppressors, the heritage of oppressors, man. And that's talking about the wicked, Esau, Edom. You know, the same applied back then in the ancient world, and it applies now in modern biblical times, man. We're seeing these devils as oppressors, man. Right? That little devil is going to grow up to be a big devil. Kind of reminds me of what Howard used to say earlier. Howard, back when on Dundas, why should I like that little white baby? This is back then when we were louder back then. Why should we like that little white little devil baby, man? You know what he's going to do? He's going to grow up and become a big devil and oppress my kids. And then the Edomites got scared and left. That was funny, man. But still, it's true, man. It's true. It's true. Now, let's jump down to the 16th verse. And it says here, Herod slaughters babies. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under. Wow. According to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children. Yeah, man. All her children are getting slaughtered, man. Getting killed and put to death. Right? And would not be comforted, because they are not. It sucks, man. So this guy killed little kids, man. Like Scarface, man. Well, no, not like Scarface, but Scarface had morals. That's what I wanted to say. You know, he had standards. I don't kill no women and kids. Well, not Herod. Herod killed little kids and he killed women. He didn't give a shit. Right? And he was known for being ruthless, man. So this guy was an oppressor. He was a tyrant. And his sons were devils too after he divided his kingdom. He divided his kingdom after that. Right? So yeah, man, after so after he died, you know, well, before he died, Herod divided his kingdom. I believe it was among 3 sons. I believe it was Herod Archelaus, Herod Antipas, and I believe Herod Philip. Right? I believe that. I think what's his name? Herod Archelaus. He ruled Judea and Samaria. Actually, let me pull up a map. I know he ruled Judea and Samaria. I think Herod Antipas. I think he governed. I think it was Galilee and Perea. Yeah. So let me just pull up the map. Just pull up the map. X.com. Twitter. See, I have it pulled up. Yeah, so yeah, here we go. So this is the Herodian Tetrarchy. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. It says Archelaus, here's a legend. Archelaus Anthenarchy, Antipas Tetrarchy, Philip Tetrarchy. So these are the three sons, Archelaus, Antipas, and Philip. Yeah, all right. So Herod Archelaus, yeah, he ruled Judea. Right, he ruled Judea. And he ruled Judea and Samaria. So this is it here. Right? And then his son, his next son, Herod Antipas, he ruled what's it called? Galilee and Perea. This is it right here, the blue. Okay, and then yeah, Philip, he took Iturea and this one we are Trachonitis. I knew he ruled the north. Yeah, so he divided his kingdom, man, to his sons, and his sons were devils, man. Right? He was a damn devil. He was a damn devil. So you just saw where he ruled. So now his sons are in power. Sons were evil as hell, man. Son was evil. So I want to just talk about Antipas, Herod II. Right. Herod II, I believe he was the one responsible for killing John the Baptist and conspiring to kill Yahushua. Right, he wanted to kill Yahushua. He was evil, man. He wasn't a nice guy. Wasn't a nice guy, man. All right, so let me pull up some precepts. Let me just think about it. I think I have to get Mark. See if I can pull up Mark. I think it's either Mark and Luke. Let's just see. Mark chapter 6. But Yahushua. Okay, John's fate recalled. They cast out many. Yeah, so it's after this. I know it was after he healed. Okay, yes. Okay, so yeah, John chapter 6, verse 14. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad, and he said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. Others said that it is Elias, and others said the prophet, that it is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John, whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead, for Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John and bound him up in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother's, Philip's wife, for he had married her. Yeah, that's right, because he came up against him. John saying that, hey, man, you're committing adultery, man. You married your brother's wife. You're not supposed to do that. You call yourself a practicing Israelite. What the hell are you doing, man? You know the laws. You know better than that. You damn devil. The prophets, man, they don't hold their peace when it comes to bringing forth righteousness. So they get judged for that. That's what happens. But it is what it is. That's not nice, but that's how it plays out, man. Now it says, verse 18, for John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him and would have killed him, but she could not. Yeah, and yeah, he was actually, I think it was a princess. It was a princess that asked Herod, could you give me that present for my birthday? I want John the Baptist's head. And then he ended up doing it. Right. Verse 20. So for Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and an holy and observed man. And observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, his high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod, and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, ask of me whatsoever thou wilt I give thee. Okay, so never mind. Sorry, I was mistaken. It was actually his birthday. right? It was his birthday, right? And he decided to do a favor for this woman because she pleased him, you know. Verse 23, and he swore unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it thee unto the half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. And she came in straightway with haste unto the king and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist. And the king was exceeding sorry, yet for his oath's sake and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not reject her. That's right. So, you know, Antipas, he was a scumbag too, man. He was a scumbag, and he wasn't really a man of his word. You know, he broke an oath. And that's these devils, man. They don't keep their word. You know, he's a forked tongue. Forked tongue, man. And that's what God calls them, forked tongue. They say one thing, but it means the other thing. Right? The scripture says, never trust thine enemy, man. And I believe that's in Sirach, book of Sirach. Never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy, man. Can't trust these devils. Never trust thine enemy. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, go crouching, yet take good heed. Yes, I swore an oath. I took an oath, you know, to be a good person, right? To not hurt the men of the Lord, the servants of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai. I took an oath to protect them. He's going to break that oath, man. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Yeah, he's still rusty, he is dirty, he's never going to change. You know, it doesn't matter how much CLR you put on him, that rust ain't going away. Because that's what you Israelites do, man. You think he's going to go away. You try to change him. You try to get that spiritual CLR, which there's no remedy. You know, there's no cure to fixing this guy's rustiness. You know, you guys try to get that CLR. Oh, he has changed. You got to love everybody. You know, that was 100 years ago. He changed. He's a good man. He's now in a suit and tie. But he's still rusty, man. Doesn't matter how much CLR you put on this guy, man. He's still rusty. Still rusty as fuck. By the way, CLR works, man. I used that before. I bought it. Hey, that shit works. So, verse 12, it says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked wherewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? That's right. So nobody's going to pity you when you get caught up with this devil, when you entangle yourself with him. You do business with him and he fucks you over. Nobody's going to pity you. You make a deal with the devil and then you get killed. Nobody's going to pity you because he's the devil, man. You have to stay away from that guy. Right? So this man, he's not a man of his word. He's not a man of his word. And you saw here, he broke his oath. Man took an oath. An oath is a very serious thing. Let me get the word oath. See if it has a definition. Horkos, that which has been pledged or promised with an oath. Yeah, promise, man. Broke his promise. Promise, man. Come on, man. Can't trust this guy. Damn devil, man. All right? He's a damn devil, man. All right, so now I just want to go into how Herod Antipas, how he conspired against Yahushai. Excuse me. This is Luke chapter 23. I'm going to start at the 5th verse. This is Luke chapter 23, verse 5. And they were the more fierce, saying, he stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place. That's right. And isn't that's where he ruled. right? That's where he ruled. What's his name? Herod Antipas. That's what he ruled. He ruled Galilee. So obviously, Yahushua was in his territory, or I could say it the other way around, because we know the Lord owns everything. He's the king. But so you know who it's talking about here. It's talking about Herod Antipas. So it says, verse 6, when Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean. And as soon as he knew that he belonged unto Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself also was at Jerusalem at that time. Excuse me. I know I got something in my throat. And when Herod saw Yahushua, he was exceeding glad, for he was desirous to see him of a long season, because he had heard many things of him. And he hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Then he questioned with him in many words, but he answered him nothing. Wow, so he didn't even say that. And the chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently accused him. And Herod, with his men of war, set him at naught and mocked him, and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe, and sent him again to Pilate. And he didn't even say nothing, man, and still beating him up, man. It's wicked, man. These devils, man. You don't give me you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. That's how these devils are, man. You talk to them. They summon you. They want to talk to you. They come up to you. You talk to them. You give them the right answer. They don't like you. Or they come to you, talk to them. You give them the silent treatment. You don't say nothing because you know how wicked they are. And then they still don't like you, man. That's how these devils are. You try to stay in your lane and just do what you gotta do, and they always just come and find some way to fuck you over, man. Right? All right, so it says, and they mocked him too. And the same day Pilate and Herod were made friends together, for before they were at enmity between themselves. So they came together persecuting the Lord, man. Your enemy is my enemy. So we're gonna work together. We're gonna work together. That's how it is, man. Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up. That shows you, man, they'll unite to take you down, even though they're at odds with each other. We see that all the time. We see that with these nations when they come up. When we bring out the word and we start speaking the word, all these nations that don't like each other, they start uniting together, man, to come up against the word. Right. So yeah, man. There you go. You just saw another devil. Another devil. So that's what I have from here. That's to show that he's a damn tyrant. A damn tyrant. I kind of want to go into Agrippa. I kind of want to skip the other guy. I just want to talk about Agrippa the first, because he was the one that what's it called? He put on that robe, those nice beautiful garments, and he also killed James. Right, he killed James. Right, he killed James, the apostle. Yeah, so yeah. But Agrippa, man, he was more a strict observer of the law. When you go into the history, and he sought the favor of the Jewish people, or the Israelites. Right. But then that changed, when he put James to death, and he put Peter in prison. Right. So yeah, man, I just want to get some precepts. I think it's all going to be in the book of Acts. When you go into, I think it's either the 11th or 12th chapter. No, Peter reports at Jerusalem. Okay, upon the which my eyes I consider and saw. No. It's going to be the 12th chapter. Yeah, Peter's arrest and deliverance. Yeah, James is killed. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so I'm going to read this. It's 12th chapter. So I'm going to read the first verse, and I'm just going to jump around. So this is Acts chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. So this is talking about Agrippa, Herod Agrippa the First. This is the grandson of Herod the Great. So this is not the same Herod. This is a different Herod, okay? Different Herod. So just showing you, I just showed you, man, these are just, the sons that came after Herod, they were all oppressing Israel, right? A heritage of oppressors. So it says, now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. That's right. The church, the ministry. He doesn't like the truth. He came up against the Lord and the truth. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. Yeah, that's because John, through the Spirit, was riling up the people, getting them closer to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And he didn't like that. Because that's a threat to his rule, his kingdom. And because he saw it pleased the Jews. Oh yeah, and also, the Jews also, they were wicked Jews too. Right? It pleased the Jews because they were wicked scribes and Pharisees. They didn't like that because their position was being threatened as well. They were also anti-Yahushai. Those were the ones that liked the high seats. They like being called master and rabbi. They weren't really practical when it came to enforcing the law. A lot of them were over righteous, a bunch of bigots and wicked, man. So it says he proceeded further to take Peter also, and so that's why I said in the beginning, he always tried to gain favor with the Jews. Especially the ones that were in power, right? That had a position among the Israelites. When I say Jews, I'm talking about Israelites, right? I don't really like using that word Jew. But so he was always trying to gain favor, and that's why he went after Peter. So he can be seen as a good leader. So his name is going to be uplifted. So they don't want to get rid of him because his predecessors, his fathers and his grandfather, they didn't have a good name among the Israelites. So he wanted to change that. All right. So anyways, it says he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to what is it? Hold on. Coordinance, of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto the Most High for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers bound with two chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. And the angel of the Lord came upon him, and light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he said unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me. That's right. So the Lord delivered him, man. Sent an angel and delivered him out of that. Okay, so now we proved that. So let me jump down to the 21st verse. Peter was delivered. And we're going to go into the death of Herod. Because this guy became an idol at the very end. And that brings forth tyranny. When you go into the Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. 14th chapter and the 11th verse on down. This guy made himself an idol. That's the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. That's not good, man. That's not good. So he made himself an idol too, by the way he dressed. It got to the point whenever he spoke, people were saying, "Oh, that must be the voice of God," and things of that nature. The Lord didn't like that, so he got rid of him. So this is Acts chapter 12, verse 20. And Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him, and having made Blastus the king chamberlain, their friend desired peace, because their country was nourished by the king's country. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne, and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, It is the voice of a God, and not of a man. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not Yahweh Bashem Yahushai the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. So he didn't give the glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because, you can call yourself a God, but you can't call yourself the God. Right? Remember, you Israelites, you are gods on a lower level. That's why you are called Yasha Allah. He is the Prince of the Power. And you notice Jake says that, man. Jake says, I'm the God. Or they go, what up, God? That's how they talk to each other. But when you start taking the place of the Heavenly Father, you start trying to take his position, hey, man, the Lord's going to deal with you. He's going to fuck you up, man. Right? And like I said, man, the Lord will show up to some beef, man. When you start stepping on his name, he's going to show up, man. The Lord's going to bring the beef, man. The Lord doesn't play with his name, man. The Lord loves beef, okay? The Lord likes beef. He's a man of war. And he won't hesitate to fuck you up. So, yeah, he got judged. And rightfully so. He was a devil, man. Because he killed James and he locked up Peter. And he came up against the church of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Get judged. Good for your ass. So let's get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. We're going to start at the 11th verse. It says, Therefore, even the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of the Most High they are become an abomination. Yeah, he became an abomination when he started idolizing himself. And making the people call him, oh, he's a god, not a man. It's not good. That's idolatry, man. And stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. That's going to be a snare to the people. It's going to be a stumbling block to the souls of men, because that's going to get them off the path from serving the true power, your maker, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? You notice Yahushua, when he walked the earth, he never idolized himself. He was all about the Father's business. Right? He's like, man, you got to worship the Father. That's what he told everybody. You got to worship the Father, man. I'm just doing what the Father told me to do. Come on, man. Verse 12, For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. So that's corruption, man. You turn yourself into an idol, or you turn anything into an idol, man. That brings forth corruption, man. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. That's right. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Vanity is wickedness. Vanity is very empty. It's emptiness as well. Right, empty praises. Oh yeah, I feel good. Let me call myself the power. Inflating your ego, man. Vanity, man. It's all about the flesh and inflating your ego. And feeding your flesh. Verse 15, For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus in process of the time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandment of kings. That's right, and that's what would happen if you were to idolize that guy. It'll become a custom, and then it will be kept as a law. Right, and it'll be worshipped, man. That's not good. Right? That's not good. Verse 17, whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. Yeah, many people, many kings did this. You had Nebuchadnezzar, he did this too, man. And he was taken down, man. He was taken down too. I believe he was turned into a beast too. The Lord made him go out in the field and grow feathers and eat grass like a beast to humble his ass. Right. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. This brings forth tyranny, man. When you idolize yourself and you create idols, man, creates tyranny, man. This is all tyrannical, especially the 17th verse, no, 16 and the 17th verse. That's tyrannical, right? So anyways, with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Chadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS, to USA Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful like Kwame Shalom and Abba Ball Shalom.